We'll get to the Lakers in a second, but first, Seahawks, Vikings last night on Fox. Kirk Cousins and Adam Thielen are in mid-season form. Thielen, a remarkable over-the-shoulder catch.
Yeah, check the footwork on that, Sarah.
Nice.
Look at the footwork.
Nice.
Pete Carroll challenged that one. I don't know what he was thinking of it because he clearly got 2 feet in
I
half
think
possession of the ball.
making you a believer.
Stop it. Stop
Patriots and Titans. Jeremy McNichols catches it out of the backfield and wouldn't be denied. Flies in for the score. Glad he didn't land on his head.
Yeah, Jeremy Nichols is out there trying to get it, ain't he?
Right. I love the effort.
CB, that's what it's called when you're trying to fight for a job. That's what that looks like when you're fighting for a job in the preseason.
You're not seeing a starter do that.
Nah.
Right.
Cowboys, Rams. Dak Prescott drops it in the basket to Michael Gallup. Nice grab.
Yeah, they're going to need Dak Prescott to do a whole lot of that this season, especially if you don't have any Ezekiel Elliott or Amari Cooper early on. So, I mean, he's going to have to make some big-time throws like that. He's going to have to be more consistent with that aspect of his game if the Cowboys are going to take that next step and compete at a championship.
Well, Kellen Moore's talked about letting him air it out a little more.
Yeah, he better. He better.
See.
Well, you paying him $30+ million a year. That's what you better do.
All right.
Same game. On the money. Check out the grab by Devin Smith in the back of the end zone.
It's a nice catch.
That is a nice catch. I mean, listen, it's amazing what these wide receivers are doing today. They make those spectacular plays almost look routine.
Well, the gloves are so sticky.
Stop it, stop it, stop
come on,
it.
the gloves don't make a difference.
Now you sound like the other
We're going to put you out
I
there.
played this point.
Come on now.
In 2019. I mean, it's a nice grab, but those gloves are crazy. You know that.
Moving on to the Lakers. After Boogie Cousins tore his ACL last week, the team is looking at potential replacement options, and they might have found one in former Lakers center Dwight Howard. LA was reportedly granted permission to speak with Howard by the Grizzlies. Chris Broussard, is it a sign of desperation that the Lakers are interested in Howard?
Look, I don't think the Lakers should be desperate at all. And I like Boogie Cousins. Obviously, he's a great individual talent, but I don't think their season was riding on Boogie Cousins. I mean, you got LeBron James, who we believe is going to come back with a vengeance. He's actually tweeted about it, right, that he's coming back with fire and all that stuff. What did he say? The throne? Too many people been sitting on the throne or something to that effect. Yeah. You got Anthony Davis, who, as great as he's been individually, still has a lot to prove as far as can you win basketball games. You know, you're in L.A. So, and then there's some other pretty good players around him. Avery Bradley, Danny Green, Kyle Kuzma, who I do think can be that third scorer, give you 18, 17 points a game. So I don't think it's desperation. And I talked to an executive who had Dwight Howard in the past few years, and Howard actually put up good numbers on paper for them. He couldn't get rid of Howard fast enough. He said it'd be a bad move by the Lakers to sign Dwight, but I'm going to disagree with him because I think it's a low-risk, potentially solid reward move. You pay him the vet's minimum. He comes in, it's kind of like Carmelo Anthony in Houston. He comes in, if he acts up, if he doesn't fit in, whether it's because of his antics in the locker room, his personality, or just his game, for whatever reason, you can get rid of me. And it's no skin off your back. But if he comes in, he fits in, he's been humbled, he's fitting in with your culture in the locker room, then I think you can do it because he still can rebound. He can protect the rim. He's a big body. We know Anthony Davis doesn't want to play center. So he's a big body that can bang with those bigger centers in the West. So I think it's something you try, and if it doesn't work, you get rid of him within a week or two. But you keep him, and if it does work out, it could be paid dividends for you.
No, I'm right there with you. I think it's moderate risk, moderate reward. I agree in terms of what Dwight Howard could be if his mentality, if how he's perceiving himself and the role that he's going to be asked to play, if he accepts that. Like when you look at this team, it's not going to be led by Dwight Howard. It's going to be led by LeBron James and Anthony Davis. As long as he understands that he's not that dude anymore, I think it makes some sense. Now, I don't love the fact that he's coming off of another back surgery and he had some hamstring issues last year, held him to 9 games. But the year before that, when he was with the Hornets, he played in 81 games. He averaged 16 points and 12 boards. So to your point, I think he can be a rebounder and he can be a presence in the paint, a rim protector, and he can allow your lineup to have some versatility defensively some flexibility because, like you said, Anthony Davis doesn't want to play center all the time. So I think it does make some sense. But again, it's going to come down to the personality and the overall fit in that locker room. We just don't have the answer to that question. But what we do know is he can't come in with the same attitude he had the first time he was with the Lakers.
But I think he's mature. I think he's 33 now. I think he's matured. I think he's been humbled. I think with all these different stops from back in 2012-13 when he was with the Lakers, I think that even when he's gone to the media and spoken about how he's learned from those experiences, I also think this Lakers team being a title contender, having LeBron James, not being the guy, having Anthony Davis, you can go down the list. There's a multitude of players that I think he respects, that he will respond to. The only issue, I mean, he played 9 games with Washington last year, so I do think just the health factor is something to look at. But more than anything, he can give you a double-double and a body bang with throughout the entire season. Anthony Davis may not want to play the 5, and throughout the course of the regular season, they may not be putting him in that position. You better believe when postseason comes around, when push comes to shove, when they're going to need to win games, their best lineup is Anthony Davis at the 5. And so Davis has been clear throughout his entire career that he has always preferred to play at that power forward spot. But I think more than anything, he could be Dwight Howard along, side JaVale McGee. Could be a stopper in that position until when they really need to put their best lineup on the floor, and that will have Anthony Davis at the 5.
And it's just more depth, and again, it's low risk. If he acts up, I can't say it enough, get rid of him. It didn't affect Houston last year when they got rid of Melo.
No.
And so you could do the same thing with Dwight. Give him a try.
But the one thing I will say about it, CB, you said the season is not going to hinge on Dwight Howard or any of those other guys. It's going to be LeBron James and Anthony Davis. I'll push back a little bit on that from the standpoint of we know what LeBron James and Anthony Davis are when they're healthy. They're first-team All-NBA type of guys. They're top 5 players in this league. So I do think the Lakers season will come down to those complementary players, the guys that are going to be surrounding those guys. If they're able to get the most out of them, then I think you're talking about the Lakers being a true title contender. But if those other guys, if Kyle Kuzma, Danny Green, and others don't play well, the Lakers are going to have a hard time getting out of the West.
I agree with that. I just don't think Boogie was that guy. They're going to need those other guys to shoot well and defend well. And Kuzma's got to be a legit 3 who can hit the 3, a third option who can hit the 3. But I don't think Boogie, for people that are, no, the Lakers are done now, Boogie's out. I don't get that thinking at all.
How good do you think I'm glad you brought that up and being a title contender, but how good do you think the Lakers can be this season?
Look, I think they could win it all. I'm not predicting them to win it all. I think the Clippers should be the favorite because I think the Clippers pieces fit together better. We saw Kawhi step into Toronto and even miss 20 games and fit in seamlessly. So I think they'll fit together. Proven coach and Doc Rivers, championship coach, great defensive team, great role players already around him. To your point, the Lakers have a lot more questions. But I do think the Lakers have the best duo in the league. In Dwight and, LeBron and Anthony Davis. I think Golden State will still be hanging around there, too. And the West is tough. I'm not going to write off Houston,
the West is going to be tough.
A lot of tough teams. Denver. But I like the Lakers better than all but the Clippers.
Well, I'm a Lakers fan, so of course I'm rolling with them. But I will say this. Of the options that have been floated out there, Kenneth Faried, Joakim Noah, I probably lean more toward Dwight Howard than those other 2 guys.
Yeah, Joakim I think he doesn't have much left to do.
Well, the same questions about the health, and Kenneth Faried, too. I think there's some of those same questions about maturity and how he will fit into the big picture of a team. So we'll see what happens there. But coming up, Jerry Jones says that Dak is worth top-tier quarterback money. Is he right? That's next on First Things First.